Hey folks, it's ioEther and we're back with some more World of Tanks. As you can see, this is Alex the Assassin in his T-10. This is a tier 9 game on Siegfried line, and he is tuned up with the Armored Cat in his E75 and General Patton over there in a T-54. So, you know, based on those names, this should be a great game, right? I mean, we have a General, a Cat, and an Assassin. You know, that's like the beginning of a bad joke, so how could this possibly not be a bad game? Okay, so this is the tier 9 Russian heavy tank. It's replaced the tier 8 a while ago. It's actually still called a tier 8. A T8, sorry, in the disc, like the replay thing. Replay file. I don't understand why, but it's not the point. It's a beautiful tank. And it's a fairly hard one to crack. Frontally, the only place you're going to be finding this thing is the lower glacis. I'm uncertain if the driver's port is a weak point or not, but assume it's not. And so go for cupolas, which are quite low down, as you can see, and hard to hit, or the lower glacis. Frontally, though, if this thing starts side scraping, then this plate suddenly flattens out and becomes a weak point. So go ahead and punch rounds through that if you can. Just try and put them about here for maximum penetration. Because I think there's spaced armor on this side, and it's easier to miss here. And if you hit that driver section, you're much more likely to just ricochet off into nowhere's land. So put them for about here if he's side scraping on you. If he's not side scraping on you and you can just see the front of the tank, this is your work spot. If you can't even see that, don't bother trying to kill him. You're not going to put rounds through these unless you're really, or either you're slightly above him or you aim really well. So good luck with that. Also, so we got the E75 tier 9 German heavy tank and tier 9 Russian medium tank. So should be overall a really great game. These guys are the top 3 tanks on their team as far as tier goes. And actually probably we're gonna see if they're the top 3 in skill, but either way. Before we get into the game, as always, if you want to support the channel, then please hit that like button. That would be a great big help. Give higher ratings on YouTube and stuff like that. Also, if you could share this with your friends and clanmates, and that would be amazing. We're something like 7 subscribers away from 400. Really, really, really would like to hit that 400 mark. Unfortunately, Alex is not able to hit that snapshot. He reacted late to the E5 coming around the corner and didn't lead the target enough, and then put the shell into the dirt. And this is unfortunate, but oh well, it happens. This IS, though, is obviously wanting to get smacked as he's just coming side on to us. And he's backing out into our shot. Well, now he's tracked and now he's dead. And now he gets to go play a tank he maybe is good at. Because the IS is definitely not his tank. Okay, well that's 1 kill already. Yes, we're getting into the kills already. Good job. It looks like Alex wants to push around this side. He's still got that E5 in front of him somewhere, but Centurion way off in the distance. I don't like the auto aim. Yep, look at that. He can lock onto the rear drive wheel of this Centurion, assuming the Centurion does this. And there we go. Great shot into the front of the Centurion. I know he was aiming for the side, but that's just where it landed, in the front. And it looks like the Centurion gets himself tracked for the second time in less than a minute. And now his turret's on backwards. Nice placement of the turret there. I like that artisan feel to it, where you just picked up, moved it slightly over, and just rotated it slightly. Much nicer look for the Centurion now than it had before when the turret was attached, right? Well done, and great, just a little tap on the ammo rack. There we go. Just come around the corner. and more like shotgun that pilot to death. Now he's got a super Pershing problem, but it's not really a problem. It's still just a super Pershing. He tracks it, and he should be pushing up against it to take away its shot at his lower glacis. But it's going to have problems getting through him anyway. Now, if he is pushed up against it, the problem he has is he can't shoot its lower glacis, but he can shoot through the sides of the turret. What is this thing doing? Okay, somebody was trying to commit suicide, and so we helped. And yep, good shot. So the only problem with shooting into the front of an AMX 5100 or a 5120 or even an AMX 50B's turret is the fact that that turret is so weirdly shaped that you can sometimes ricochet shots that you would otherwise completely pen because of the angles involved, and so you'll end up like shooting into these weird angles, and it's just shots will ricochet up into the sky because you hit something on, you know, such an oblique angle that it can't actually normalize and pen through. So just be careful when shooting at those. As a rule of thumb, shoot below the gun on the AMX heavy tank autoloaders, because you're more likely to hit a spot that's flat, and thus you'll just pen right through. If you shoot above the gun, you're more likely to hit those steep angles and more likely to bounce off. Nice shot into the Emil. That thing's got a really super heavy turret. That's one of the other ones that you want to shoot below the gun on. And actually, if that Emil had been facing him and he hit above the gun, it probably would have just deflected up into the air. But again, if you're shooting below the gun, you have a better chance of going through. Unfortunately, only 3 rounds of regular AP ammo left to him. Means he's got to make them count. This Tiger, again, I can't help but assume the Tiger 2 wanted to get shot. He rolled out to make sure we had a better shot on him. So Alex just went ahead and put one through him. Unfortunately, at some point, our armored cat has died. We have lost the armored cat. This has got to be a horrible, horrible turn of events. However, General Patton is getting his kill on, and has gotten his first kill of this game at the same time as Alex just saunters around the corner and casually takes out the Tiger 2, as if, why bother putting effort into that kill? Puts his first premium round of this game through the lower part of the... Was that his first or second? I don't remember if he used a... No! Okay. I'm gonna pause here. I don't know if he knows he's using the heat at this point in time. But he had a beautiful shot on the lower glacis, and then specifically turned and aimed for the tracks. This is heat ammo. High explosive anti-tank. High explosives, when they hit a track, don't do anything. All the damage gets absorbed by the track. So when he was aiming at the lower glacis, that was 400 potential damage if he pulled the trigger. As soon as he shifted to aiming at the tracks, that was 0 damage. And he fired when he was pointed at the tracks. And it didn't do anything. And now, yes, he's got a track VK, but that's not helpful for him. So do not ever, ever, ever put HE rounds or heat rounds into tracks unless you are trying to track them and do nothing else. Unfortunately, Alex made that mistake, and now other people are going to get damage in. Don't do it a second time. Thank you for not doing it a second time. Now I'm going to assume he realized his mistake and corrected it for the second time, which is good. We get shot by... Nope, we got shot by an enemy KV-5 before taking out and get the T-44-100, and we have claimed the top gun. Good. Our artillery apparently wants to get dead, so he gets himself dead. You know, that's fine. And now the rest of the team's just going to take the RHM after artillery tracks us, which is a little bit annoying, but not so annoying as to... Wait, the artillery didn't track us. That was the RHM that tracked us. The RHM was firing HE. I assume he had it loaded for a medium tank, or maybe he had the precognition to think that an artillery was about to rush him, and had the HE load for that. But he just fired into our face and tracked us. That's it. Didn't do much else. Okay, well, that was a decent game. That's a more AP CR fired at us than I would have enjoyed, but it happens. And good job to all. Look at that. General Patton's still alive. A quarter of his health left. Same with us. Overall, that was actually close to running out of ammo. One thing about the IS-3 and IS-10, and I think this applies... don't know if it applies to any of the other Russian heavies, but you don't want to carry this many HE rounds. I understand with the higher alpha guns that 6-8, like a bunch of HE rounds are really helpful, because if you don't necessarily be able to pen, you can HE them and stuff like that. But I would carry no more than 4 HE rounds on this, because again, he was almost out of ammunition. And it wasn't like this was a horribly hard to carry game. This was a game where his team was actually still involved. You can see a bunch of his team have kills. And so if this had been one of those games where he had to solo carry the entire thing, he definitely would have ran out of ammo before he finished that solo carry. So yeah, just think about that and weigh that against whether or not you want to carry those couple extra HE rounds that you probably don't end up ever using anyway. So yeah. Badge first, or Ace class, Master Badge Ace Tanker, not First Classer. Hand of God, Bruiser, Demolition Expert, Fire for Effect, High Caliber, and the Top Gun, and of course this is the one everybody was aiming for. And well played, sir. That was a great game. Everything except for the E5. He actually ended a shell on. Oh, sorry, and the KV5. 6,159 damage for 1,500 base experience. That is beautiful. And that is the type of game you were unlikely to repeat twice in a row. But again, look at that. Like, there are 2 other people on this team with over 2,000 damage. And actually, you have, a few others that were getting kind of close to it. So this by no means was a hard carry. Though it was a carry. If his team had done like 1,000 damage apiece, he would have been a lot harder pressed. Well, actually, if even one of these guys had done 1,000 less damage and we had to pick it up, then he would have been hard pressed to finish that 1,000 damage with 6 HE shells after he ran out of the 2 more heat he was loaded. So be careful. I only have 3 HE shells in my IS-3, and even in the T-10 I wouldn't have more than 3. So think about that. If you're still comfortable with your loadout, then keep it by all means. But for the newer people watching this, then you want to be careful what your loadout balance is. Anyways, well done overall. Great job. And can somebody tell me in the comments if he had the heat loaded for that tire he just kind of brushed into death, or if he had something else loaded for that standard AP round. Unfortunately, not making much money because he wasn't running a premium account, but still look at that experience because of the daily double. And it would have been nice to have a reserve running for this, I'm sure, but well, unfortunately not. Great job though, overall. Beautifully well done. Thank you so much, Alex, for showing off the T-10 and what it can do and how it can just walk through people. I gotta get me one of these tanks soon. And thank you all for watching. Please, if you have enjoyed this, hit that like button, and that helps me out quite a bit. And try and drag in like 7 more people so we can get over 400 would be amazing. And I'm definitely gonna have to do a giveaway for that. So thank you all. Have a great night. This is ioEther out.